How you doing, guys? My name is Anthony, and I would like to start off by posing a question. So, how many of you guys use Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, any type of social media? I assume so. Well, I guess you would agree with me that social media is a great way to stay connected with friends, family, community, and the rest of the world, right? All right. Well, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, includes in his IPO letter to the investors that the purpose of Facebook is to get everyone in the world connected, to give everyone a voice, and to help transform society for the future. But just like all social media founders, he wanted the world to share ideas, fun times, and even build strong relationships with family and peers by staying just a tap away. Well, my argument today is that social media has more negative effects than its intended positive effects. My first point to support my claim is that social media encourages bad behavior. My second point is that it is easy to spread bad publicity, and my final is that it is a hazard to the public. Starting with my first point, the bad behavior I would like to elaborate on is that cyberbullying is a main issue in our society that causes suicide rates to go up. As you guys have seen, it's pretty big, just like 13 Reasons Why. It's pretty new, but it's really sad watching. So cyberbullying has become a large issue in our modern society, and it affects the lives of many children and young adults. An article written by Sam Laird, a professional writer who graduated from UC Berkeley and UC Santa Cruz, holds the statistic that 20% of kids who are cyberbullied think about suicide, and 1 in 10 attempt it. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, young adults aged 15 to 24 had a suicide rate of about 12.5, where people less than 20 have a rate of about 3.2 to 3 in the past couple of years, according to the grudge rate. So these days it's easy to bully people while hiding behind a screen anonymously with minimal consequences. So continuing with social media promoting bad behavior, there has been noticed that social media is an easy access gateway that leads to student-teacher relationships. Many social media sites provide the access gateway, provides the option of direct messaging between accounts, giving easy, seemingly harmless communication to anyone regardless of age. An example of this issue is in the Miami Herald, the article written by Gustavo Solis, in which he discusses a high school teacher, Stevie Glasspool, was asking students on Facebook to have sex with her. A 17-year-old student told his parents, and they reported it to the authorities. Glasspool was charged with soliciting a child for unlawful sexual conduct using a computer and was held for a $25,000 bond. Now, this isn't a rare case. Cases like these have increased a lot since social media has blown up and students and teachers could easily connect with each other. Now, my second point for my argument is that social media has made it very easy to spread bad publicity, and anyone who owns a phone these days can log on to Twitter and have an opinion on something that can gain popularity and even influence others with whatever they say. Social media has the power to hurt large companies with just a single viewpoint from just even a couple of people. The Pepsi company, for example, recently released an ad with Kendall Jenner who offers a Pepsi to an officer as a sign of peace. According to a Pepsi spokesperson, a press release stated that the Pepsi company was trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. Unfortunately, many people had opinions of their own regardless of Pepsi's intentions, and it just being a harmless ad, and decided to tweet on Twitter, #boycott Pepsi. With the loss of valuable customers, there is no doubt the company will have a dip in sales. Bad publicity doesn't just affect the public's view on companies, but also important people of our society like police officers as well. With everyone these days equipped with a camera and an internet connection, it is hard to get away with anything without being caught. Well, social media has provided better coverage of police brutality, but it simultaneously has given people of color a different viewpoint of the police. New York Daily News released an article by Nicole Patet on Curtis Walker, a former 80s rapper who credited 4 officers for saving his life this past November. Now, Walker states that in a police press that police saved his life, a black man, and in this day and age, people need to hear that. Most police stories on Twitter and Facebook are usually negative ones. And and so Curtis Walker felt the need to emphasize the story to the public. Now, my final point for this argument is that social media has become a great danger to the public. Nowadays, many people can't get off their phone. It's the quickest way for people to get in contact with each other. And although the need for a connection can be quite strong, that many people will still use social media on the road, and it will cause fatal accidents. A State Farm study released in 2012 found that among drivers 18 to 29, almost half, which is about 48%, access the internet on a cell phone while driving. A third of those drivers were using social media. A distraction for social media can keep your eyes off for about 6 seconds, which is more than enough time for any fatal accident to occur. Lastly, anonymous protection on social media makes it easy for public predators to prey on teens and children. An article by Jonathan Rodriguez, an investor reporter for CBS News, writes about this female who was grooming this little 12-year-old boy, who believed he was really chatting with a 17 or 18-year-old girl. Within a couple of exchanges on Kik, he was sending nude pictures. They ended up tracing the female back to a 26-year-old Patrick Killen from Miami. The FBI said he had close to 800 victims. Now, in conclusion, social media has way more negative effects than positive effects. It can lead to bad behavior, it spreads bad publicity, and it can lead even to death. Yes. Thank you, guys.
All right, propositions identified. It's a little bit broad. I think you have an obligation whenever you make a comparative argument to give us some data on what it is, how we're going to measure these sorts of things. And in the end, I'm not sure that you have documented, the on-balance effect that you claim to have. I think you've given us plenty of reason to think that there are problems with social media, but I'm not sure that it has the on-balance effect that you're talking about. The presentation's nicely organized. I think you explained the assumptions on most of your arguments. On the first point, you had some good statistical data. On the notion about bad publicity, you've got primarily examples that you're dealing with, although the one example that you present there that you give some detail on seems to go the opposite direction of the inference that you're making. I guess the idea that it's so exceptional is the thing that makes it unique, and that's why we can tell that there's something wrong that's going on there. The third point, your main example is the basically a child predator engaging in some behavior on social media, which is certainly objectionable. But again, the on-balance thing is, didn't he get caught? If he hadn't been using the social media, would he have been caught? That's one of the questions that's going to come up, and I think that since you're making the on-balance argument, you need to give us a little bit more detail on that. I thought it was presented very nicely, and you're very sincere when you're speaking to us, and so that's where you get a lot of the credibility while you're talking. Thank you.